Everything okay? Yes.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
what really impresses me is that you just got out of college, right? It is October. You graduated in June.
Right.
And you walked straight into a position that you held as an intern. Is that correct? You started as or was this after you graduated?
Actually, when I applied for the job, they wanted someone who can take full-time, but during the time of my interview, my boss agreed to let me start by doing part-time, but at that time, I was basically going to the studio 4 days a week, and I'm basically working full-time. And then after July, I became a full-timer, and then so I've been working at the studio for almost half a year now.
Yeah. So all of you who are interested in working in media, in new media, with technology, today is for you. Okay? So in the previous 2 weeks, we talked about social science and natural science. You met my father, you know about my story. Today is all about Connie. She's going to tell us everything, hopefully a lot of things, about your experience. You are truly a success story, I think. You are the sort of student that we all want. So let's start from, one more thing actually. Connie and I are both from the lovely city of Tainan.
Right.
Yes, we are, yeah, anyway.
Awesome city.
Awesome city, so yes, go visit Tainan.
Yeah.
So let's turn the clock back. We start from before you entered university.
Right.
Can you tell us a little bit about your English learning experience when you were elementary and high school, junior high school, senior high school, and your English and your learning experience?
Okay. Actually, I started learning English at the age of about 3, which is the time where kids go to kindergarten.
Yes.
And at that time, I wasn't taking like fully bilingual classes. I was only taking English classes for 2 times a week, maybe. And
you remember this? 3 years old.
Yeah. Well,
that's awesome.
well, it is because I have a very, like, how do I put it? Like, I'm very interested in learning languages. And I find myself sort of talented, like I'm very sensitive to different kinds of languages. So, and my parents supported the decision that they wanted me to go deeper into learning English. So that's why when I started elementary school, after class, I would go to a full all English program that lasts for about 3 to 5 hours a day. And I learned about literature. I learned about reading, phonics. Basically, I learned English the way American kids do. And I felt, actually, in the beginning, I felt quite painful because I see all my classmates, like after school, they get to have fun, and I have to sit in a cram school learning something I probably don't really understand at that time. But looking back, I feel like it's all worth it, even though the process can be very enduring and suffering and painful, to be honest.
Yes.
And so I continued my interest for English through movies and TV series, which it is because my dad is a very avid fan of these things, so he would sit at home and watch movies with us. And my parents never let me listen to Chinese dubbing. So like when I was
you were forced, basically.
Yeah, but
in some ways.
Unconsciously. And I didn't feel weird or very like very. I didn't dislike it.
You didn't dislike it.
Right.
Well, that's a good thing because I understand that some parents try to force their kids, but it doesn't work.
Yeah.
But it worked on you.
Yeah. Well, because I love movies and I love stories.
Yes.
So I guess that's how my parents discovered that is something, a medium that I can learn English.
I see.
Yeah.
And so fast forward, we'll make a jump and then we'll come back though. Do you think that your interest in film cultivated or preambled your career now? Like you're working in media, do you think that this interest sort of permeated through?
Yeah. Well, of course, I think, because personally I believe that we get to learn a lot from music, movies, television. These are the things we can learn from. And my ambition, I call it an ambition because so far it hasn't come true yet, is that I want people to realize that these things they see, they can come true, like if they're not aware of it enough. for example, we see all these disasters movie, like the
Day After Tomorrow.
Yeah, the day after tomorrow. That's telling people that, you know, if we don't pay closer attention to global warming, one day we might have to burn books in the library just to get like heat, or you know, the traffic can be like full lockdown just because there was a storm coming.
Yeah, I fully support this idea. Maybe we should iterate this a little bit more. So the idea is that literature and films, they give us insight into what could happen. They're not just stories. They hold real potential, real warnings, or real dreams that can happen.
And these things actually influence the way people think. So recently, if I don't know about the people watching this live broadcast, but like for example, Disney, there has been issue of whitewashing, like casting white actors to play Asian characters, or like black characters, I think. And for me,
you know, white people play black characters.
Like changing the script to make it so like superhero movies, they have this black character and then they casted someone and then changed the entire appearance. So these people, these things can affect the way we look at things. So when I was little, I actually believe that Mulan is a true story. We talked about this, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so I believe that Mulan is like all about female empowerment and all that, but then growing up I realized it's about white, like Disney inflicting some of the Western ideals into an Asian character. So I feel like the media actually plays a huge role in affecting what we think nowadays.
Do you think that these skills, this early interest in English and in video later played a huge part in your college career, the one that you just finished?
Yeah, I guess that's...
I'm asking about your university education.
Right, I guess that's one of the reasons why I wanted to be an English major in the first place. Right. Well, to be honest, the main reason why I wanted to be an English major is that I know that I have pretty good English, and I know I would be like it would be an easy way for me to get a degree. But then coming here, I realized that.
Candid.
Yeah, I'm being very honest here. Yeah, but like after coming to the English department at Furen, I realized how it is all related. Literature, media, movies, music, these are all related, and these are all things that, you know, that are not just the surface. There are more things that can be explored and discovered.
And so students, if you are interested in learning English, a lot of times we think about this in a very direct way, which is we think about English as using as a tool that you use to communicate with other people. However, what Connie is saying, what I fully agree with, is that English will better yourself. English will help you as a person. So even if you never use your English with other people in your environment, if you don't speak English in your day-to-day conversation in your life, it can still directly benefit and enrich your own life. And that's something that we both experience. And hopefully students, if you need an extra reason to learn English, apart from school requirements, apart from work requirements, it's a good window into personal fulfillment,
If you need a better reason to learn English and not treating it as only a subject that has to be tested on, it's something that opens up your mind to different aspects of things, because a lot of things are actually written in English, so when you read it, you get to see points of view from different parts of the world, not just Americans or British people.
Yeah, so one I think a highlight of your English ability is one day if you Google English, if you Google in English and you read web pages in English, that is you using English for yourself. That is in some way. So as an English major here at Furen, what were some courses that you found were useful for you now in your career, specifically for your career now?
Specifically for my definitely non-linguistics.
She didn't say that. Linguistics is wonderful, everyone. Study linguistics.
Yeah.
I love you, Professor Yuan.
Well, Well, the thing that benefited me the most are actually the literature courses I took.
Literature.
Well, personally, I don't like classic literature. No offense, Andrew.
No, none taken.
Like I like reading science fiction. So I took a course on post-humanism.
Yes.
And also Professor Kate's a lot of film literature courses.
And as our director of the Self-Learning Center.
Director of the Self-Learning Center. Yeah, so like film literature courses, and these are the things that enabled me to think deeper about what I see on the surface. So when I look at things now, I would be able to get more insight.
Right.
And also, I guess something else that helped me is actually writing class.
Right.
Because
so writing and literature.
Yeah, because what I do, I need to do a lot of research.
Yes.
I have to look at what people like, what people don't like, what people are talking about. So research skills are actually very important. And sometimes when I write my scripts for my boss, I have to give them additional information on certain topics.
Yes.
So I have to get like the most accurate definition of a term, or like a very precise and brief outline or a summary for an event.
I see.
Yeah.
So not just writing skills, but research skills that come with it.
Yeah.
So students, I think we can, you would recommend students, if you want to work in media, if you want to work in technology, you need to take some courses related to culture, but also related to technical aspects like writing and research and data collection, things like that. Not necessarily the business side, but the technical aspects.
Yeah. Because to be honest, like with the internet being so developed and fast, news travels really, really rapidly. And to be honest, if we look at the media field in Taiwan, mostly they get their news on PTT or like, tabloids or like forums. Yeah, to be honest, they really do.
I get mine from social media.
Or like Facebook. So there are actually a lot of what Donald Trump calls fake news. It does exist. It does exist. So if you have like really good research skills, you get the correct version of the event or of the issue.
So you need to develop a critical reading, critical awareness.
Right. So being critical is very important.
Yes.
Right.
So how about courses in the department that you found were you actually the same question, like interesting, helpful for you is the same thing, right? Because some courses were maybe difficult, not so interesting, but were helpful. Were other courses like this that didn't come to benefit you until later? Translation, maybe?
Yeah, definitely translation. Oh, actually Chinese class. Right, because my Chinese is terrible. Starting high school, I think, I experienced like a downfall in my Chinese ability. And because I have to write magazine, like columns for magazine right now, and I have to write in Chinese. So our magazine has 6 issues now. And from the first issue to the current issue, you can, like, I bet the readers can see how much my Chinese has improved. And also because the Chinese class in our department is sort of like a literature class in Chinese. So you would get insights into Chinese literature works. And so Chinese is like an art as well, even though I didn't consider it an art before.
Okay, so students, 好好学国文，国文很重要。
国文很重要。
Yeah, okay. Someone tag 燕珍老师, we love you.
燕珍老师.
Someone tag her, please. Yes. Okay, we love you. Yeah.
Right.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about your extracurricular experience. So when you were a student in the department, you served in the student association, right? You were elected and you served for a year as president of the student association.
Right, of the department.
Of here in the English department, So how did you come to this position? What did you think when you first got the job, and how has it benefited your career and you as a person?
I'll just skip the part of all the sufferings and the.
No, you can talk about the suffering.
No. I want this to be like a very positive interview, even though we're all wearing black. Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween. Yes.
Well, I think being in a group activities like the student association benefit me in a way that, because entering the job field, you have to work with other people. And personally, I hate group work. Okay, sorry, professors, but like, I like to do things.
She doesn't mean that.
Yeah, I didn't mean it that way.
Yeah, so
I like to do
working,
things. Yeah, I like to do things on my own because I know my own pace and I get to do things the way I want. But actually, group work is very important, especially when you work in the media, because it's like a collaborative effort.
Yes.
You have different people have to chip in their ideas.
Yes.
So if it's only on your own, you would not get as good. The presentation of your work would not be as good as you originally thought it would be. So I learned to listen, which is something I feel like it's very important because I hate listening to people. Like I'm kind of a bossy person and I hate listening to others, but being in a student association, working with my classmates, I learned to listen to their opinions and actually taking in their opinions or suggestions and then complete task as a teamwork effort instead of like a Connie effort.
Mm-hmm. And then that helped you later in your
because
work.
in the studio I work at, making a video is not just about, oh, I feel like we should make a video on this subject. Because sometimes you think this is good, but maybe it's a terrible idea. Mm-hmm. And maybe your boss is too nice to tell you it is a bad idea. So you need someone else to tell you, that's not good enough, or, oh, how about adding a little bit of this and that to make it like a more complete thing. Mm-hmm. And I was like, good idea. Like, you know, so learning to work with a team mm-hmm. is very important.
And would you say that in not just your job in general, but for students who want to work in media, team efforts and collaboration is something, communication skills and a team are important?
I think communication skills is the most important because you don't want to offend other people, especially your superiors. I mean, I worked at a studio that's more open-minded and it's kind of new, so my boss is very chill and relaxed and he takes in all the comments and suggestions. But if you work at a conventional media company, for example, a newspaper or a television station, am I talking too fast?
No, I don't know. Yes,
okay.
Actually,
maybe.
I'll say, hold on, Connie. Yeah, hold that thought. Are there people watching? Is there anyone watching?
Really?
Like, yes. How many people? 7 people. Thank you, 7 people. Oh my gosh, thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions for Connie, oh, now there are 8 people. Oh my gosh, wonderful. Yes, let's hit double digits. Yeah. Someone log in. You please ask. We'll give a chance to ask the students some questions as well.
Cool.
But so you're talking about communication skills and how they're important.
Yeah. But if you work at a very traditional company, there's like a really strict superior and like
a newspaper.
Yeah, like a newspaper or television station. Mm-hmm. So if you don't know how to communicate, or you don't communicate well, or you don't work well with other people, it's really easy that you get ambushed or like you get framed into like saying things like, oh, Andrew said something bad about the boss, and then you would get really bad reputation or something. So I'm just using
that but that kind of culture is can be toxic.
Yeah,
but it comes with the territory.
Right. But if you're a very easygoing person, to an extent that you still have your own principles, not like the kind that you just go with the flow.
Yes.
So communication is very important, and also working together as a team. Nobody likes a loner, to be honest.
Yeah, but this is in terms of the soft skills, right? Other skills that I like students are interested in, since you need to hold down certain projects, right? Planning, like planning an event or holding, putting it all together, these organizational skills. Did these also get strengthened in your work in the student association?
Actually, the planning part is actually first implemented and strengthened in my CC class because we have to write an outline.
Yes.
And I actually
composition conversation.
I actually suck at writing outlines. I always write my essays before I write my. I actually write my essays before I write my outline. Sorry, professors.
What is coming out, Connie? Yes.
Yeah. But
there's a question.
There's a question.
Regarding the thing you just mentioned.
Okay.
Yes. Who's asked the question?
Hi.
Who?
刘昭晴.
Liu, 姓刘. Liu,
嗨。
交情. Zhao Qin.
Hi.
Hello, Zhao Qin. Thank you so much for watching and asking a question. Let's say hi, Connie. Hi. Okay.
Yeah,
What's the question?
I
Yeah.
always have problems with grammar when it comes to writing. Do you have some advice for me?
Well, personally, I would suggest reading a lot of books, all kinds of books. The ones you hate and the ones you like. Personally, I like reading novels, so when I was in junior high, I read about 5 novels a month. I don't study, so sorry teachers. But well, I mean, I admit, I was never the straight A kind of student. I like to do the things I like to do. But I get by. Like, I still get pretty good grades. Smart
Yes.
in a way.
Yes. We know, yes.
Yeah, but like to read a lot. Read the news, read editorials, read novels, read even like books teaching you how to make something. Those are different kinds of writing that you get to see different writing skills, but as long as they are publishing, they have to have a certain level of English ability. And usually the grammar is correct because it has to go through like a long editing process from the publisher. So my only suggestion for grammar is that you read a lot and read everything you like and everything you don't like.
You can also watch films, right?
Right.
This is also a good
Yeah.
way to strengthen. So yeah.
But films are kind of tricky because sometimes there are colloquial terms, so like wanna, gonna, so you don't use that in formal writing. You use that in like verbally, but you don't use that when you're writing. So I think films are acceptable in a way, but depends on what you're watching. Because usually if you're watching like classic films, like a Shakespeare film, it's like old grammar, but you get to learn grammar in another aspect. But if you watch a film that happens in the current days,
Yes.
you could learn something, but just be careful what you're listening to.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, but the idea is to have a lot of input.
Yeah.
Input a lot, and you will grasp the patterns quickly. If your problem is targeted, Zhao Qin, if you feel like it's a problem in writing, a specific kind of problem, then you can target that and practice.
Right,
But generally, our best advice is to input a lot and often. Or watch, YouTube.
Right.
YouTube. Yeah, watch YouTube. Yeah.
There are a lot of good videos on YouTube
Yes.
that you can watch.
Yes. Yes. Good channels to watch too. Yes. Yeah. Because I think we should take a break. Zhao Qin, yes. Are any other questions?
Not at the moment.
No, not at the moment. Students, if you want, please ask some questions. We'll take a break for about 5 to 10 minutes. We'll be right back. Stay tuned.